Hello there Ronins, welcome to Ronin Hood. Today it will be a fast review about the Shinto katana from Hanwei. So the week before you had the full review of the Hanwei Shinto, and today it will be a fast review. The principle is really simple. A fast review will just give you the cuts in the wood with the shinken, the base cut, and the other thing, you won't have the measurements here. You will just have every technical aspect of the swords, and it will be a little bit more pragmatical and of course fast. So I start this experience with the Shinto with amazing iaido moments with a great swing during 6 months. Then I decided to start the first test, and it was with Mugen Dachi and the 9 circle stand. And that first experience was not so enjoyable for me because the stability was not enough important for me with my habits, and I think my physical condition was not great that first day session. And the Mugen Dachi is really hard because it's not forgivable. It doesn't allow any mistake of angle, so it has to be perfectly aligned or it won't go through. So with that stand I was like not comfortable, and in plus with the Mugen Dachi I was not feeling so good at all, but I was successful on double cuts and tameshigiri moves, very less comfortable on battodo moves, and I think I had not a great handle way of practicing. My handling were technically not really correct. I was too close from the tsuba and not enough far from the tsuba behind the fushi on the menuki, with the fingers on the menuki. So my battodo move were not so great, but I really think it was about more my physical condition. The stand is too lightweight, and the Mugen Dachi that is so dense. I love this sword from the first day. It's an amazing sword. That first session I was convinced that I was not on the good way, and it was my fault and not the limits of the shinken. And the second session was with this kind of omote. These are gozamats. They are less dense and more easy to cut. And I wanted to make a double cut with one hand. That was the purpose of that training day. And I wanted to realize another really difficult move. It's drawing out the sword and making a double cut with one hand. So that was my challenge for the last 4 or 5 months. And that day, the second session there was successful. So I realized how I was right about this sword. This is an extraordinary sword, and with a more forgivable omote and a strong stand like the Ronin Hood stand, I was really feeling better and confident. That doesn't mean that Mugen Dachi are not good. They are the best for many practitioners for competition, but I think they are too difficult for me for the moment with complex moves like double cuts with one hand or double cuts with 2 swords, and I prefer to, for the moment, practice with complex moves on easier omote. So now it's the moment for my first double cut with one hand. I'm focusing, and boom. I was really happy. That first double cut with one hand is really the best way for me to finishing my second year of practicing and finishing the first year of Ronin Hood. So that was my golden goal, and I'm really happy and thankful that I was able to do it that day. So this sword has the almost perfect measurement for me. It's a 69.4 centimeters. I should have a 71, so it's a little bit under for a person that technically should be 1 meter 60. I'm 1 meter 65, so it's almost the same. And it's a really light sword and a bowie sword. Right now is the second golden goal, a double cut with the drawing, with a nukitsuke this time, a nuki-uchi. And I was successful, and I was, wow. I wouldn't think I would be able to do that just at the end of 2 years of practicing. So I was really happy. Of course, this is not the perfect form. Of course, a master of 15 years of iaido will do 10 times or 20 times better than me. It's not the subject, the subjective. That was my goal, and I was able to do it, I think, properly with my skills of the moment. And it's go through the 2 times with one hand double cut, and it's a really difficult move. So after all that month of hard train, I was having a little feedback that I was on the good way, and it's so great that that was possible to do it. A double cut with one arm and a double cut with one arm withdrawing out the sword. I won't talk about the wakizashi here because the wakizashi is not Hanwei first, and second, it's not the Shinto wakizashi, just for information. But I had to train with a wakizashi. It's a really classical piece. I will talk about that in next episode, in 2 or 3 months, I think. So the Hanwei Shinto for me is the best of all the Hanwei that I have bought and with which I was practicing this year, this Ronin hood first year, and it's almost perfect for me. The possibilities for me were like evident and awesome. I could train for 4 hours and I could endure it physically because 985 grams. I'm not crazy of the bowie concept because I prefer a 1050 grams sword. And boom, the first double cut with 2 swords. That was my 3rd golden goal. And at that moment I was, what's happening today? It's absolutely awesome. It's a great, the Kamiya with me today, it's a great, amazing day for finishing this first Ronin hood year. And I wanted to dedicate that first double cut with 2 swords to all my Ronins on the Ronin hood. So thank you, all of you, for your supporting and giving me the opportunity to continue to improve my way of practicing and proposing answers for beginners and trying to do better every week. This is my 4th golden goal, making 2 cuts, one after the other, 2 Ichimonjigiri on with the 2 swords on Niten Ichiryu style. So the 4th golden goal was completed for me that day. That was for me unbelievable. I didn't think that day I will be able to do just 1 on the 4. And to finish another second double cut with 2 swords. So a 5th golden moment for me that I'm really happy to share with you. Of course, it's not a Mugendachi, Omote. Maybe I wouldn't be able to do it for the moment. Of course, it's not perfect. I am searching the second part of the target, but for me, it's honorable for my 2 years of practice, and it's honorable for what I was searching. So this is a good feedback of all the trainings, all the research, and of the passion, because all of that is about passion, sharing passion with all the other Ronins. So now you are more than 300. I'm really happy for that. So all of that fifth great golden cut are dedicated to you guys. So I hope you enjoy it as I do. So that day, the second day, I think I found my best way of training for the moment. Strategically, I do the major cuts on omotes, and then I do the cuts of precision at the end. So I keep my good and fresh energy for the more important cuts and the more complicated technical movements. So now I get back to Mugendachi for finishing with 5 Mugendachi, and I did just before 10 omote on gozamats, and now it's 5 Mugendachi to finish. So I wanted to get beyond my fear Mugendachi, because they are really unforgivable. So I was repeating so much. My goal is to have a perfectly aligned cut to get through the Mugendachi. So I was really better than my first 2 swords session that you have seen maybe on the first episode of cutting with 2 swords, and it was going through even after 3 hours of training. So I kept my focusing for 4 hours that day. For information, an episode of Ronin Hood like this with 6 or 10 or 15 omotes used on one day of practicing, it's 14 hours of preparing stuff, getting into the forest and getting back and cleaning everything. Is 14 hours. 14 hours of physical. It's not 14 hours of just making delicate stuff. No, it's 14 hours really physical. So it's hard to have the proper fresh energy for the 4 hours of practicing. So I'm really happy of that conclusion of the year. Right here you can see me with one hand cut, and it's getting through the material. Even it's Mugendachi, so my stand is more stable. I think that day my angles were more clean. I have of course many things to improve. Postures, slowing the blade on a precise point in the space, but for the moment this is what I was searching in my journey. So for the Shinto is really impressive because this is the best balanced swords of the market China brand shinken that I ever experienced. There is many other brands that are coming that I have to train with and to test for you guys, and of course with just my personal opinion. It won't be the absolutely great truth, it will be just my opinion, but I have many other brand shinken to try, and for the moment this one is the best ever for the balance, for the materials, the sturdiness, for the possibilities, because you can practice tameshigiri, you can practice battodo, and you can practice niten ichiryu if we think that the size of the nagasa is the appropriate size of the person that should practice with. Of course, if you are a 2 meters person, you can use it, but for me, with the Japanese measurements, of Tozando, for example, this sword is made for a person of 1 meter 60 or 1 meter 65. This is the final cuts with all the little section for cutting of precision, and I decided to make one hand cuts, wakizashi cuts, katana cuts, or 2 swords cuts. Of course, it's limited at the end because you can just make one cut, but it's interesting to cut even with 2 swords, making just one cut. So I was like changing and trying to have always the edge well aligned, 100 focusing, and trying to keep relaxed and contract at the good moment, having the contractions on the muscle just at the good moment, relax and leaving the moment, and having the less as possible mistakes of cut. This day for 4 hours and 15 omotes, I had just 20 mistakes of cuts, so it's better. My objective for next reviews and next practicing is having 0 mistakes of cuts. That means if the cuts is not perfect, that's okay, but no mistakes. The sword has to go through the omote, or I just have not realized the cut. So it has to cut at every cut, no mistakes. That's my new objective for the next year. And maybe having 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe 8 omote stand in the space, and having cuts, multiple cuts and cuts one after the other in different stands in different direction. That will be my next objective for the next year, and improving as I can my postures, not having the back feet that get up. This is I think muscle memory of my karate kumite practice, and I know it's not good for yai, but this is in my reflexes, so I try to stop this, but it's not easy. It's 15 years that I have to correct. Even on karate 2, it's not really good to get out the feet of the ground because you lose stability. So thank you guys for having watched this fast review. I hope you liked it. Stay focused, mind sharp and body healthy, and see you soon on Running Hood.